All right, we're back. We're back, guys. I'm sorry about that. Had some clients come in and they didn't want to be on social media, so I had to shut you guys down. But you know, yeah, yeah, they didn't want me on social media, but great conversation. They were the neighbors. Some realtors don't like that when the neighbors come, but I welcome it, man. It's an opportunity. Once again, ask for a referral, ask for anyone they know that I could help. That's always a possibility and availability. So you don't know unless you ask. Which it makes things worth it, man. It's going out, bro. I always like it wants to die on me. But yeah, that partition right there, it changes things up, man. It does change things up for people. So that was one thing she added. She talked to me about the flex room. As soon as you walk into the left of the home, that's another signature from this particular builder. He loves the flex rooms. I like the flex room as well because you can create to whatever you want to create it to. Flex rooms give you a way where if you do want to make it a bedroom, you can. It's not going to be an official bedroom where you're going to get the value for it that you want unless you do the right things to convert it over. Then okay, but for the most part, if you need a flex room or you want to make it a nursery, you want to make it an office, you want to make it this or that, you have that option. I keep saying it, man. You guys are gonna learn. One thing I love is options. Give me an option. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. All right. So that's a beautiful thing. Again, I'm at 5970 Cartagena Circle out in the Spanish Pines subdivision on the west side of town. You guys know I went over the numbers not too long ago when it came to the west side numbers from when it comes let me make sure I have that information here for you guys. So yes, so on the west side, remember this is from last month. There's 187 active listings currently. 29 days on market, time on market right now. And the median sales price is $389,900, and it's 53 sold listings just from last month. So this is down to 299, 299,950, below what the average price is. So that right there should also, once again, these are the type of things as an investor, as someone, even as a homeowner looking into making sure that their home appreciates the right way. This is the area I may want to look into. I may want to look into something like this because these are number and data points and things that I need to make sure I'm making a great decision. So yeah, man, this like I said, I'm here 10 to 2. 10 to 2, you want to come look at this house, come look at this house. Again, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,800 square feet, but that 1,800 is every nook and cranny has been planned accordingly. This is a custom home once again. Has custom fixtures, accent walls, built-in place. Bathroom is in the primary bathroom is really nice, modern, nice look, nice feel. We were at the rooftop before I disconnected with you guys, but the rooftop is flat, nice, easy for maintenance. I love that. Stucco exterior, covered patio, which is really nice on those hot summer days. If you just want to still entertain outside or you just want to relax outside, you still have the opportunity too, because you got that nice covering, right? Really, really nice. Also, I told you guys the garage has been converted. It was converted over into a flex space. So right now it's converted. Right now it's being utilized as a theater, but you can use it as whatever you like. One other thing I got from the neighbor, which was nice because I was trying to figure it out. This is a smaller home, right? It's 1,800 square feet, but it's sitting on a pretty large lot. This is probably one of the few or last homes that were able to be built at this particular size on this large of a lot. Apparently rules have changed. I haven't verified this information, but this is what the neighbor is telling me, that homes moving forward have to be a little bigger. So I'm assuming the zoning requirements have changed when it came to what could be built and how it could be built. So this is another, once again, because I highlighted that backyard because it is a lot of space. So if you're looking to build a casita, a small home, rental home, you can do that in this backyard because you have the space for it. Again, you have the entry points from the left and the right side of the home, which gives you that flow, and know that you don't have to let anybody through the garage or let anybody through your home to get to the backyard. It's easy access, right? And 2 reasons you may want to do that. 1, you may just want more rental income. 2, you may just want to offset your costs a little bit when it comes to your overall mortgage payment. It doesn't really cost that much to build a casita. You can get someone out here to build something like that. It doesn't have to go too crazy, but I've seen some really, really spectacular ones, and I've seen some really, really bad ones. As long as you can build it where it's well maintained, heating and cooling, they got some sort of plumbing, make it a little small studio apartment. Now, you can make a little bit of extra money from that, which is great. It's going to be a great asset for you. We are in the Canateo ISD school district. If you want some information about that, definitely, I have a QR code here, Mike Clark, El Paso Realtor.com. Go to my website. I have some for you there as well. You utilize those, go to the school district, get the information you're looking for when it comes to picking the right school for your school-age children, right? Or school-age kids. Hey, that's available for you as well, so you can make that decision. if this is something you want to do. Now, we're going right to what it feels like on the inside, right? So remember, I got my notes over here, so I'm just gonna go over my notes a little bit. So that it's an open concept exterior, of course. Like I said, you're gonna step inside to an inviting open concept. Like I said, man, I can't say enough about the concept. Finished tile flooring throughout, which is not only elegant but also durable and easy for first-time homeowners to maintain. So you don't have that carpet, you don't have to worry about the carpet. Nice, sweep, mop, done, right? You get one of them nice little robots, that thing is just rolling around, cleaning up for you. That's even better. You don't have to worry about getting stuck on the carpet or anything like that. I love those as well. Those little robot cleaners, nice. I would also say it has a nice, like I said, modern gas fireplace, adds warmth and ambiance in the living room. Like I said, you want to entertain, nice chill spot that you can do that. Freestanding gas range, microwave, and it has a tankless water heater. I think people love, at least me personally, I love the tankless water heater. It's easy to maintain if they're installed correctly. I gotta say that, man. Make sure if you're getting a tankless water heater, you're getting it the right information from your inspector. Make sure you're getting that part inspected or at least highlighted to make sure it was installed properly. One issue I had with my home, which I had an inspector come, but once again, you don't know what you don't know. But the zoning, not the zoning, but the requirements when it comes to how it's installed changed, where the vent system needed to be a different way, the exhaust needed to be a different way, and that ended up costing me more money to get repaired at a later date because I had to get it maintenance done on it. So make sure you're finding that information out as well. Now, in addition to the 2 bedrooms, this home offers a versatile study office area. I told you guys about that. As soon as you walk through the door to the left, you're going to get that open flex room. Now, when you're talking about the exterior, once again, low maintenance. I would say it's low maintenance, but it does have grass. So if you want to water the grass, you want to add seeds, you want to do something else different to the backyard, you have that opportunity as well to be, whatever you may want to do with the home. You have a blank canvas when it comes to the backyard. And I told you, like I said, this is one of the last few per the neighbors. This is the last few homes that are, built at this particular size, 1,800 square feet, sitting on such a large lot. So once again, you have a very, very spacious backyard. It is enclosed with a rock wall around the entire perimeter of the home. Once again, nice, gives you that privacy. We talked about the covered patio, which is nice, spans the rear of the home, complete with a ceiling fan, provided a shaded spot so you can relax if you want to barbecue. You just want to relax outside, you have that. I also highlighted that there is no HOA. And this neighborhood, to me personally, gives you that HOA vibe without the HOA fees or the problems, right? And I wouldn't even say problems. HOAs, there's some nice HOAs, right? But this one right here, there's no HOA, and it seems like everybody's acting accordingly over here. And I say it seems because I don't live over here. But, just driving through, looking at the neighborhood, looking how clean and clear it looks, seeing that there's no vehicles practically on the actual streets is nice as well. I was able to shoot content in the middle of the road for like 20, 30 minutes. No one's coming through. So it's really quiet. I think if anyone's moving, they're moving for a purpose. They got to be somewhere, but it's not too crazy out here, which is nice. Now we're gonna go into the location. Location is one of the things that we want to highlight on the west side. Over here, we talked about the nearby noise, but you're located minutes from Interstate 10, 375, Loop 375 Trans Mountain, which makes commutes and the highway access easy, right? So you making sure you can get anywhere within 15 to 25 minutes. That is nice. If you're PCSing again, if you're moving directly here, this may be a spot you want to move to. Like I said, one of the things about the west side that I think most people don't really appreciate is that a lot of things are already built up, man. The east side, of course, is nice, it's beautiful, but things are still being built. So if you're okay with that, dealing with the hustle and bustle while everything gets built, of course you have the east side. But the west side, you already have more of an established community where it makes it easier to get in and out, which is nice. It is nice, man. Especially if you're busy, you got somewhere to be. once again, if you're a 4+ soldier, you got to be at PT at a certain time. You kind of want to know I can get in and out of here really quick. I need that access. So I definitely get it. I've been there, man, trying to get to first formation within 5 minutes. You need some options, right? You should not be speeding, but you need that. Other thing that I want to let you guys know. So there's shopping and dining options within 5 to 10 minutes from here. There's a new West Town Marketplace, brand new, really, really gorgeous shopping centers. And you have the outlet shops not too far from here as well. Both are nearby, featuring popular stores, restaurants, nice for attending. Also find everyday conveniences like grocery stores, local eateries, and most of these locations, and like literally brand new. West Town Marketplace has a lot of premium options for you. Like I said, even that movie theater is really, really nice, super nice. I've been there, done that. You might definitely check it out. Also, I would tell you, Spanish Pines subdivision maintains a peaceful, family-friendly atmosphere. That's I've gotten. So, once again, my personal opinion, neighbors take pride in their homes. I was highlighting earlier, right? Now, I would say on financing options, I won't go too detailed about that. I'm probably not going to highlight anything like that. But I would say this home is move-in ready. Move-in ready convenience. If you're looking for a home that's move-in ready, nice, ready to go, this is going to be the home for you. This property is truly move-in ready. It's a big benefit for a first-time home buyer who might not have the budget or desire to renovate, but you're getting that feel. Right? This home was built in 2015. It feels like it was built this year. I promise you. Like you walk in, you're like, man, this is nice. One thing I like about these custom homes, just builds overall that's changing, is the tall doors. The doors, oh my God, the doorways coming in. Some of the homes have wider hallways, which is easy accessible, especially people in wheelchairs. You need to be able to move through the hallways, all that stuff. These custom homes are getting better and better. I'm not saying this home has wider hallways. It looks like the standard size hallways, but the doorways, huge. There's 2 bathrooms, right? 2 full baths. That guest bathroom that's not attached to the primary, nice walk-in shower, beautiful, open. It's top tier. I like that as well. Now, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's about it, man. That's about it. If you have any questions about this house, definitely don't hesitate to let me know. Don't hesitate to let me know. One question I got asked last time is, hey, how long are you going to be here at the open house? Well, I'm here till 2, but you can see it on their face like that might not be enough time. It's okay. It's okay. Let's schedule a private showing. You don't have to me, but in the state of Texas, you do have to sign what's called a buyer's rep agreement. You do. Now you can set that thing for 2-3 days, a week, 6 months, whatever, but you don't have to be locked and loaded with someone else, but if you do want to view it, you want to make sure that you understand the relationship between you and your realtor. That's what that document is for. Things have changed. You have to understand that. Most people, and I was in the same boat prior to doing this, you assume that this realtor has your best interest at heart. You got to understand that you've signed no agreement. There's no agreement. If you give me private, confidential, you want to make sure you're getting that. We have a couple acronyms. One's called OCAR for our potential clients. O being obedience, L loyalty, D is disclosure, full disclosure, and then CAR, you got confidentiality, accountability, and the R is what is it? Response, or I have to find what the R means, but it's an acronym. But you see all those things you get that I have to give you if you're a client, compared to I can give you the bare minimum. I owe you confidentiality, but not full confidentiality as a customer. There's just so many different things that I don't give you as someone who's not signed with someone. So even like I said, in that particular moment when we're walking through that house, at least in that moment, whatever I say or do, you know, for the most part, is kept between us, and that's really what it's for. So some people get scared that they have to sign something, but depending on who you're working with, it's not really that big of a deal, man. Uh, I've done it a couple times, showed some houses, we signed it, good to go. Some people wanted to work with me, some didn't, some I'm following up with. But if you want to see that house that is a condition, that's something you have to do. But don't let it stop you from seeing what you got to see. So that's it about this house. I did want to talk about me being a realtor, so you guys get more what you're getting yourself to is work. Work. You got to put that work in, man. You guys work in. Well, since I've been here, is the activities that you do, high level activities, not just busy work. Because I caught up in doing busy work. I've been doing it my whole life. When I was military, banking for a little bit. When I was trucking, like you get caught up in busy work. But as a realtor, truly in sales, you benefit by finding clients, by prospecting. That's the biggest thing I could say, man. If you live in a certain area, you're already ahead of the game because you have a sphere of influence. You have people that you know. So if you have that, I would say, hey, jump right into it. If you don't, doesn't mean you can't jump into it. Just means you got to put a little more work into it. And that's me. You know, my wife was born and raised here. She has a sphere of influence, right? You know, and I got to push myself on her to put me out there, right? But for me not to have something, I have to put myself out there even more. And that's why I do these things. There are other options where you can, of course, pay for leads. You could do this, you could do that. But, you know, I'm trying to, one, build myself organically, but I'm understanding it has to be a hybrid type of situation. So I can build myself organically, but yeah, you're going to have to put some money into it when it comes to the leads. And then hopefully once everything starts rolling, now you're moving. I'm actually picking up speed. So for my first 1 to 4 months, slow, I had a lot of time, right? Now from month 5 to where I'm at, like 7 right now, I'm telling you, man, it's starting to pick up. You know, I haven't gotten to the closing table as of yet, but I'm getting close, right? You know, the follow-up calls are getting better. The walkthroughs are getting better. The client prospecting is getting better. And then just getting those calls and trying to stay organized. I promise you, I'm using my calendar. Like, that's my number one app that I use. That's the number one thing I use. If it's not in that calendar, it's not happening. It's just not happening. And I'm gonna be reluctant to add things to that calendar because it's getting overloaded. It really is, man. It really is. So, excuse me, guys. I got to put this on. I'm trying to set up my TikTok right now. Open house questions. Open house Fort Bliss. I'm trying to add stuff right here for you guys. Fort Bliss and El Paso, Texas. Just trying to add little things, man. I don't know why I can't stream it from here. Paso. Okay. So we're just adding that. I had everything going earlier, but you know, like I said, I had a neighbor come and things slowed down. So I just want to make sure I got all my stuff situated. But yeah, you know, with the real estate, it's about the amount of work you're putting in. And so, like I said, things are picking up, it's getting better and better. And like I said, you're one deal away. Thing about sales, thing about being real estate, you know, that's the biggest thing. So understand, yeah, you can be spending a lot of money up front, but you know, the benefits of this being a successful career is what you put in it. So I'm gonna put as much as I can. I'm gonna keep putting in the hours. I feel like it's all day at this point. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, you know, I'm eat, breathe, and sleep real estate. I'm also trying to make sure that I understand what's being changed, the laws being presented, the guidelines I have to follow, the rules I have to follow. I'm trying to stay involved in understanding all of that good stuff. Also making sure I understand what my clients need and want, what people need to understand and what they don't understand. One thing I've noticed in El Paso, one big thing I understand in El Paso is some people have houses and they don't understand what they got themselves into. And I don't know why, I have no idea. But one great example is these exemptions. Housing costs is expensive. It is. And that includes the property taxes. But if you didn't even get your exemption put on, man, that's a problem. You got your homestead exemption. That's a problem. And I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not anyone that deals with taxes. I'm just giving you an idea that, hey, you may want to check this out or talk to somebody about it and just make sure, man, have these conversations. That's one thing we have to get used to. Certain communities, this is a norm. They're going to talk about it all day, every day when it comes to finances and home exemptions and, and that way you stay current on it. And if you don't know something, now you can ask more. But we may not have that friend. We may not have that person in our life that talks to us like this stuff. But make sure you have your homestead exemption. Another thing for my VA clients, just because you're not 100% doesn't mean you can put something in it. You guys got to do your research when it comes to that. And if not, reach out to somebody, have a discussion, find out what you can do. Like I said, I'm just for that. A lot of people are saying that. And, that's why I host seminars. My next seminar is giving you guys more information on that. I think that'll benefit a lot of different people. Of course, if you're 65 and older, of course, that's another most people don't understand. And this goes back to being a realtor. This goes back to prospecting. This is easy. Maybe you too big of a home and you're like, man, I got this. Or maybe all you need to do is add your exemption and not bring your cost down, and now you're okay. It just depends on that. I'm learning about that big time because every year at this point, I'm missing a year. I will protest in my tax. I don't care. Still protest your taxes for your neighbors, because if you keep your assessed value down, then that's going to keep everybody else's assessed value down. One big thing about El Paso, we have a lot of 65 and older who gets a tremendous discount when it comes to property taxes, and then also be a disabled veteran. If you're 100%, you already know you're getting a tremendous discount. Hey, what's going on? You're getting a tremendous discount. So you want to make sure you understand this, so you're benefiting everybody else, because that's what's going to help everyone else. One thing that I've learned going through this process is that no one's coming out individually to appraise your home. They're not coming out individually. There's a software that the Central Appraisal District is using. It's a mass appraisal, and that's the way they're doing it. That's just the way they're doing it. They don't have enough manpower to go to each house individually. So you say, you know what, my house is worth with that. How do you know? How do they know? What's sold in your neighborhood? So, I get it, but to benefit everybody, to benefit everyone, you want to challenge those taxes anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing wrong with it. It's not a problem with it. They have people there. They have a committee there. They have all the people there to hear your case. And for whatever reason, if it is justified to be there, then they're going to support that with actual evidence. If it's not, now you're going to support it with some evidence. So that's another thing that I can say when it comes to the home buying process out here in El Paso. I'm noticing is an issue. Boom, that's an issue. Another thing I recently just seen is we're talking about new builds, but new builds is an issue at this point now, and I can't do nothing but be transparent and honest, because that's just me. That's just me. Everyone else is not like I am. I love to sell homes wherever, and if you want to buy a home with a particular builder, I have no problem. But I would say just make sure you're doing your research when it comes to warranties, when it comes to responsiveness, when it comes to how the home is built, what materials being made with it. Make sure you're doing your research. Make sure it's a quality, sound home. All right, because you don't want to buy a home, get into it, and then be upset with the process. This should be the happiest time of your life. As long as you're not buying a house that is over your budget. One thing Dave Ramsey says over and over: don't go house poor. If you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, Google him. If you're dealing with finances, you might want to look this man up. But that's another thing you want to understand is don't buy too much of a house. So when you're buying these new builds, you can move in it happy. You're not moving in it and then within 6 months now you're stressing about how to keep up with this. Right. Another thing that you want to understand too is taxes, property taxes, because if that home is recently built, understand it says value on that home was value on the land because no house. But once again, if you don't understand that piece and you're on TikTok or you're on social media, type this in. You know, people who bought new homes prior to it being assessed, you know, they lock in their rate, they lock in what their principal interest is, and taxes are how they're built. For example, they're paying $2,000 a month. Next year comes around, and now your new assessed value is changed drastically. Period. And a great example is a foreclosure auction. If you don't believe that, go to the foreclosure auction in El Paso, Texas, first Tuesday of every month. You can go, and I promise you, you're going to see over 100 houses going up for auction. And it is sad. It is sad because you're like, dang, this is crazy. And I think it wouldn't be as sad if it's sad regardless. You're losing your home, that's sad regardless. But what also frustrates me is that you could have sold that house. You could have sold that house, got the equity out of it. And then some people don't know if you owe 100,000 on it, but the winning bid was 180. There's $80,000 sitting there. You got to fight for that. You got to fight for that difference. But once again, people don't know that. They don't know that. They just kind of they wash their hands with the transaction because they're so frustrated. But we don't have these conversations. We got to understand this stuff is not. It's normal, I would say. You know, not in a sense of foreclosure should be normal, but even the rich go through situations where the best decision is file bankruptcy, and they're okay with it. They're content with it. Why is it that we have a problem? Why is it that we have a problem when it comes to our finances or our hardships, or when we know we're getting to a point where we may need to hit the reset button? People do it all the time. but they also know how to play the game where they understand what they can do with it. Like I said, if your home is being foreclosed on and it's 100,000 that's to the bank, but somehow the bank was able to collect 180 from the auction, let's look into that. Let's ask the question: where's that money going? Where's that $80,000 going? Do I get that? Is there something I can do for that? Because I only owe 100. How are you making a profit from this? But when you got people just not caring, once again, or not plugging and connecting them with the right people, you run into these issues. You run into these issues. So this has to be, like I said, I love this. Like for the longest time, I didn't know what I like to do, what I wanted to do, but I know I like to educate. You know, not the sense of being a teacher, because teachers, that's a difficult job on its own. But you know, I do enjoy teaching, just not in a way where if you want to learn it, you want to learn it, not forcing you to learn it. I guess that's what I want to say, that I don't want to force you to learn anything. I want you guys to understand it, and want to learn it, and want to pass the information. So if you know somebody who's, you know, has an issue or needs help with something, hey, connect us. So yeah, I've been going for a minute. I've been going 36 minutes, man. So I got another hour for the open house. I had one family show up. They really like the house. That made some options for them. This particular home I forgot to mention, on 5973 Cartagena Circle. This home did have a price reduction down to $299. You know, $299, and we just went over the numbers on the average price on the west side. So well below that. So it definitely has room for appreciation, growth. I'm telling you, development's happening. I mean, talk to the neighbors. There's going to be hospitals here, new restaurants, widening of highways. Like it's a lot going on. It's a lot that's happening and being developed in El Paso. And if you are a native of El Paso, you want to get plugged in and find out what's going on. Things are changing drastically. If you don't get involved, you don't get involved. So it's okay. We never made it to drop those other ones off. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah. Oh, so let me go into my realtor space. So what I do when it's time to prep and get ready for these open houses, I get prepped the night prior. And usually I do them back to back for a reason, because it's less. This is the first weekend I had to do two separate open houses during the weekend. So it's a little more difficult compared to just getting prepped for one. And the reason I do that is for a couple reasons. One is easier to get the paperwork, everything together, and I can reuse it. So even if I don't give everything out, I know I got another day coming, whatnot, and then I might hit it another week. It helps dramatically when it comes to that. You know, I don't like wasting paper. I don't like wasting time. But the second reason is I become a subject matter expert on that property. I now really understand that house. I've been there for 2-3 days, right? But it helps because if there was any questions brought up, like the day prior, if I had any clients come in, anything that they may have seen that they liked, or I got another opportunity to capitalize on that as well when new customers come through the door. So that's why I like going back to back. And then what I'm doing the night prior, man, I'm doing everything. I think I do so much to the point that it may be overloaded to that particular person coming in, but I take it serious because you're buying a house, you need to know all the costs that are coming with that house. And it's simply understanding the taxes. I think that's the biggest piece, those MUDs, municipal utility districts, and the PIDs, the public utility district PUDs, and PIDs are public infrastructure development. So you got those, right? And you got to make sure you understand what you're paying into. Like I said, new developments, a lot of the costs are being pushed to the homeowner, you know, so that's why you got to understand what district you're in. For example, you're talking about developers, they'll build the homes, but you know, who's building the roads, who's building the sidewalks, who's building the parks, you know, those amenities that we need. So sometimes what they'll do is they'll build it, but then they'll create these HUDs, these MUDs, even like I said with the water. You know, they got to build new infrastructure. That's going to be mud. You know, it's going to be pushed to homeowners. That's why you guys speak. Not I spoke at the city council meeting. That right there, not the city council meeting. I went to the El Paso County meeting. To the El Paso court. Was it El Paso County Court? Yeah. So anyway, all right, we back. We're back. All right. So I want to wrap up with dang, what were we just talking about? I want to wrap up with what were we talking? Oh, that's what I was talking about. So we talked about the muds, the PIDs, and then while I was speaking at the city or the county court meeting, I keep forgetting it, man, because you got the county judge and then you have county commissioners. I forget the name of the meeting. But anyways, they're talking about the new data centers being built here. And we have one big data center already done, which is the Meta data center. And then, of course, what's happening is more is going to be coming out. So the county commissioner that brought this up, I forgot the lady's name, really nice. It seemed like she's trying to be proactive. I don't know if it was a little too late or she should have did it a little sooner, but nonetheless, I appreciate her bringing it up regardless. So one of the problems with these data centers is it takes a lot. It's a lot of resources that's needed for these development centers, these data centers. So what she's proposing is trying to come up with some sort of best practice guideline when it comes to how they manage or oversee these data centers, because they can't manage or oversee them, but basically just some sort of county zoning requirements or regulation or something that they can do when it comes to negotiating with these data centers. Because one thing, like I said, they use a lot of resources. For example, once again, water. It needs a lot of water to keep those servers and everything that's needed inside of that data center cool. Okay, well, this is a big warehouse. There's not a lot of homes being developed in that area. What's going to be needed? Utility service, utility district. Well, who's paying for that? Is it going to be the data center or is it going to be the homeowners? I would say it needs to be the damn data center. You know what I'm saying? One thing that she's let us know is one of the main requirements that these data centers are looking for when it comes to planning is land, which El Paso County has a lot of land. They have a ton of land, of course. But once again, by not understanding the needs and the wants of these data centers or the requirements or the burden it's going to put on everybody else, then that becomes a problem. And I don't understand, with all the technology, with all the money and resources we have, all the tools we have in our toolbox, the people that are here, we have a lot of smart people, man. I've been to Utah. I've been down to the EPCC. Look, man, I did not learn a lot when I was in grade school. I wish I did. That's why I push my kids hard. One thing that I'm seeing is, I don't know why we're not utilizing the people that are here at a high level. We got some smart professors. We got some smart people, but I don't get it. I don't get it. And at a minimum, if we're not going to utilize the smart people that we have here locally, why not get consultants to come out here who's seen these projects, done these projects, and understand these projects, to explain these damn projects. That's what I'm frustrated about. I got a podcast coming up. I'm going to be a podcast guest come Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. I'm excited about that. I'm going to push out some content on it. But, man, we're going to talk a little bit about it. Like I said, I spoke at this meeting. It was another, the host of this particular podcast. Like I said, I'm going to push it out here later. They actually spoke as well on this particular issue. And, yeah, man, two people talked about this. Two people from the entire county. No, and one person from video. He actually video phoned in, and he had a different perspective. He was from New Mexico, and he was saying there's another data center called Jupiter there already, and that's becoming an issue. He was talking about fracking. He was talking about some other stuff. He was talking about the water shortage. Like it seemed like this should be a concern that everybody understands, but it once again, it's not, man. And I would say it's not like people don't care about it. I think it's just not being pushed out to everybody. And the way these city meetings go, and the way these council members and committee members, all these people that are in these positions, they think just because they put it on Facebook 1 or 2 times, they think because the news crew may highlight it and say, hey, something really quick, that's enough. That's not enough, man. It's not enough. It is not enough. I think J. Cole said it best, man. He said, I'm paying all these taxes. Let me pick what I pay. If I got to pay these taxes, let me pick where this money goes from my phone. I think that's the best way to do it. It should be a link. We should have some sort of digital ID. You should give us everything we can vote on. It should be an app we can go on. We should get alerts to make sure everybody's involved and understand what's going on, man. But yeah, so anyway, with these data centers, man, it's a lot of resources being used. And at this point in time, a lot of the costs when it comes to maintaining this is being passed to the homeowner who's already paying a ton when it comes to property taxes, when it comes to sales tax overall, when it comes to everything else that's going on in El Paso, man. And a lot of people aren't getting paid. Our median income is not high, man. It's not high to be burdening or putting all this stuff on the consumer, on the locals. So my point where I came from with it was, listen, county judge and commissioners, this is a no-brainer. I mean, I get it because you gotta do business, but you've already probably gave them a tax break. That is enough. That is enough. If you're getting a tax break, tax incentives to move out here, okay. But you still need all these other resources to go. Like, come on, man. When's enough enough? That's it. That is it. You want to pay for everything else that's needed. Matter of fact, you need to get the community, find out what we need, and help us out, even though you're not paying property taxes or you're not paying a full amount, man. It just, to me, it makes no sense. It's kind of backwards with these developers, man. I feel like we ask questions after the stuff is built. After stuff is built, let's do it before. Let's come up with a plan. I can go more and more about my thought process on the county versus the city and everything else that's needed for the city. And I consider myself a local, man. At this point, I'm paying property taxes, man. I'm paying into all of these resources. I've been here almost close to 10 years now. I've been here for a minute, man. For most people, they believe because they went to a certain high school or they've been here their whole life, they're the true locals. I get it. There's some traditions here. There's a culture here. I get it, and I respect it. But new people are moving in, and they can see it for what it is. People who've been to other places, other countries, other states, other cities, other counties, they have a different perspective, and they see what's going on. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is not normal, bro. This is not normal. You shouldn't make this normal. And the more you sit idle, the more stuff is going to continue to happen. A great example, like where I'm from, South Bend, Indiana. I tell you what, that's another situation, man, because it looks like redlining going on to me, because things are it changed overnight. One, Two, a lot of the houses are extremely expensive, even the lots. When property values go up tremendously, of course, that's going to slowly affect appraisal values, slowly affect taxes, and at least in my community where I'm from, a lot of them are renting. A lot of people are renting, and of course, what happens if property values go up, taxes go up, your rent's going to go up because as a business owner, that's what you do. You burden that cost to your tenant. You know, is it right? I mean, at the end of the day, like they said, it is just business. It is business. You know, that's why you have Section 8 housing, that's why you have low income housing. So, you have those options as well if these houses become too much. But, you know, as a landlord, you try to keep the cost down as much as you can. But if everyone's not helping to make sure they're at these meetings when things are being proposed, it's going to be tough to do it. It's going to be tough to do it. Just because you're renting doesn't mean you don't have a vested interest in the community, into what's being proposed. Get involved. This is the most I've ever been involved with anything. I never thought I'd be involved with city local politics in general. I never did. But now, man, it's like I have to be, because everything seems like it's affecting me. Well, yeah, I would even say national level, like, some of the stuff with the president, because, my wife works for a government entity. So yeah, when the shutdown happens, that affects her. But I would also say a lot of other things affects us moving forward too, locally, like I said, with these taxes and everything else being burdened. So I see change, I see potential, I see things that are going to happen, but I feel like we are the generation that's going to go through the pain points if nobody speaks up and talks. So yeah, that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. But I want to wrap this up almost at an hour. I think I've disconnected a couple times so far. But if this is the type of content you like, comment, like, subscribe, share. If you want to get to talk to me on a personal level, you want to talk to me over the phone, whatever, individually, one-on-one, reach out to me. My phone number is 915-487-6602. Again, I'm a local El Paso, Texas realtor, and I can help you with anything. If you're military, you're PCSing, I'd love to help you. If you're moving and just relocating, I'd love to help you. If you're an investor and you're looking to do something out here, I'd love to help you as well. If you want to know about city projects, things that are going on, resources, how to talk to city council, how to go to these county meetings, the format. I'm not a professional at it, but I can at least give you the resources and the gist of how things are operated to help you. Because like I said, the more people that advocate, the better for the community. Lastly, just getting involved. If you're ready to buy a house, that's what I would say. Lastly is, look, you're looking to buy, sell, rent, invest, hit me up. All right. Again, my number is 915-487-6602. My website, you can go right there and you can schedule an appointment. Mike Clark, ElPasoRealtor.com. Go there as well. I also have resources on there as well. A little bit more information about myself, my background, all that good stuff, man. And then, like I said, if you have any questions, just hit me up, man. I love to talk. I love to help. I love to do all those great things. And if you're thinking about becoming a realtor, hey, let me know. I do have a brokerage in mind. Easy plug, man. You guys see it, the War Team. It's a really, really good team, man. Look, and I've heard it. I've heard it from everybody, but I'll say there's some great things about this particular team, about this brokerage. And I would say, look, I'm not even gonna say too much. I don't want to say too much, because everybody has their opinion. But yeah, that's it. And then lastly, that's the last part. Listen, I am part of the YPN, the Young Professional Network. I am the co-chair. Don't ask me how it happened, but it happened. So I'm very much involved when it comes to the Gephardt situation with the realtors. So that's another piece. I have some ideas about that. I'm going to do a live stream on that hopefully soon. I want to see if I can get with my chair and see if that's something she wants to do as well. If not, I ain't got no problem doing it. You know me. So I'll talk to my chair. Hopefully I can get her to come on Marla Pena. Yeah, I'll let her see if she'll come on as well, so we can tell you a little bit more about that. Because if you're a realtor and you're brand new and you don't have an idea of how networking works, particular partners you need to have a complete business, that's one thing I noticed immediately, man. It's very, very difficult when you're coming in, nobody in the industry. YPN gives you that environment where you get to know people on a personal level before business, which is nice, and then also you have those options when it comes to finding a lender, finding a good inspector, finding an inspector, finding these different people that you need, right? To, like I said, build your team, because once you become a realtor, you're gonna be used as a resource. Someone's gonna call you and say, "Hey, Mike, I'm looking for insurance. Do you know somebody? Hey, Mike, do you know an inspector?" Even if they're not working with you, and you just want to be a resource, you want to be ready, available. You want to be ready because you want to stay top of mind. And having these individuals, as easy as it may sound, may keep you top of mind when it comes to people thinking about, hey, it's time for me to sell, time for me to buy. Who is a realtor that I know? Well, I know Mike. Mike's always on social media. I always see him at open houses. Anytime I ask him a question about who I should use, who I should recommend, he tells me. So that's part of it as well. So the YPN is really, really nice if you're brand new. We're going to get really big on going to those orientations. First thing, I'm trying to make sure I introduce you guys and give you guys key resources. So if you are a realtor and you did pop in for a little bit, let me know about that. I did send information out. If you're already part of YPN and just fell off for a little bit and you want to get back plugged in, I want to find out what's keeping you from staying consistent with us. What do we need to add value to that's going to help your business succeed? I think that's the biggest piece, man, that I want to do, is make sure that we're consistently adding value to you, to your business, because this is what this is. You want to make money. You want to grow. I want to grow. I need to meet those people who are hungry just like I am. I'm working. I expect you to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all day, every day, but I need to know that, hey, if I refer you to somebody, you're going to give them top level service. And the best way to be introduced to that is through YPN. All right. So don't just think because it says young, you got to be young, because no, you got to be young in the profession, young as a young realtor, and if you want to be an affiliate, you're young into the industry as well, but you're introducing yourself. You don't even have to be a young, I wouldn't even say young affiliate. You don't have to be young affiliate, but for realtors, for sure, you're brand new, man. You're within under 5 years. You still need resources. YPN is a great one. It's like a mini Gepard. That's what I was told. It's like, that's what it feels like. That's what you should get from it. You should understand all the committees. You should understand what's going on in the city. You should be introduced to so many different people. The networking, but that's gonna be a whole nother channel. All right, I want to add more to it, but I appreciate everyone that came on. You guys see it. Share. Push the content. I appreciate everybody that came in and out. Thank you so much. Hopefully this will be a great year, not only for me, but for you as well. Make sure you have your goals, quarterly goals. I say that. Don't just make it big, broad goals. Make these small, bite-sized goals where you're going to complete that bigger goal. So for me, I got my quarterly goals, first, second, third, and fourth quarter. And right now we're in the first quarter, and we got to go get it. We got to go get it so we can set ourselves up for the fourth quarter, and we got plenty of time to make it happen. So that's the goal, man. We're going to get after it. We're going to get to it. And yeah, man, you know my slogan. So I'm Mike Clark, El Paso local realtor. You know my slogan, keys and knowledge. I can give you the keys, but I'm not going to forget the knowledge. You're going to get that from me. I promise you that. Whether you want it or not, I promise. I'm gonna get little nuggets in there. So if I'm the type of realtor you want to work with, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. My number is 915-487-6602, or you can hit me in my DMs. Of course, that's easy as well. I check all that good information. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace.